I can make you rich, sure, like fine. But if you're just sitting on a pile of money, that doesn't light me up.
All right, Miss Heather Townsend, thank you for coming here and talking with me. I really appreciate that. As you know, we're talking about Hillside Projects, Dream Homes, and where you might fit into something like this, being a financial planner advisor. So really quickly, can you just tell us a little bit about Townsend Financial, your firm, why it exists, your mission, those kind of things?
All the things, yes. Hi, Nicholas. Great to be here. So I started Townsend Financial 6 years ago. Background was I used to be basically a CFO for property developers, and also worked in Ernst& Young doing way too many tax returns till 1 a.m. in the morning. So, but my friends and family kept coming to me for financial advice. I've been investing since I was 19. And I realized that they were getting really bad advice and people were taking commissions, including my parents' financial advisor, off me. The fees were hidden everywhere. And it just wasn't really good advice. And I thought financial planning should be done differently. So I launched Townsend Financial, and I now work with high net worth individuals or high income business owners. And I'm fee only and fiduciary. And I think those two things are so important. I stand by them so much if you're looking for a financial advisor. Basically, what you pay them is all that you pay them. They don't get referral fees. And they don't, if they put you in an investment, it's because they think that's the best investment, not because they get a commission.
Very nice. So yeah, I mean that to me, I mean you're my financial advisor. That was one of the main things I liked about you. You seem different um, from the other people I spoke to. You know, people at Edward Jones. Not saying anything's bad about them and all this stuff, but just other people. It's a little hard. I didn't know if I don't know if they had kind of my best interests. But one thing that you definitely had that I thought was different, and you notice when you see comes in emails, you have a ton of your alphabet soup, like you like to call it. So there's a lot of things you have in there. So financial planning, fiduciary, those things mean a lot, but also your registered life planner, you have all these different, abbreviations. What are those and why does that make you kind of different?
So I'm a CPA. My clients definitely love that one the most, because a lot of financial advisors can't get into the real depth of tax planning or know it. I don't even know how many tax returns I've done to date now. So that my clients love. I'm also a certified financial planner, a certified student loan professional, and the registered life planner. I might get one more designation. I promise I wasn't, but I love learning. I love being the best for my clients. So.
Right, yeah. So especially when it comes to dream homes, and I know that that is probably on people's minds, especially when they're hiring financial advisors and this life planning part, right? That's kind of where it comes into play, where yes, we need money, obviously, to survive. We want to retire, we want to do those things, but we also have dreams. What's the purpose of making money? So I know that was part of your life planning. So talk to us a little bit about, a client who wants to build that dream home. How do you kind of get them there without them just taking all the money that they've accumulated and said, you know what, now I want to build this home and dumping it all in there?
Well, from a diversification standpoint, that's just like not a good idea, right? It's like don't put all your eggs in one basket, but life's a balance. And I think that that's why I'm a registered life planner. And you know this about me is like I can make you rich, sure, like fine. But if you're just sitting on a pile of money, that doesn't light me up. It's what are we doing with that money? Like you achieving your goals and the dream home or whatever it is. Like, when my clients describe their dream home, it's because they see their kids playing in this type of backyard or having this special playroom, or so their mom can live with them. They normally mean really meaningful, important things. And to be able to give that to them, that lights me up. It's the best. But yes, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. So, because that would also suck, right? You put all your money into this house and then oops, you don't have reserves, unexpected things happen, you lose your job, who knows? I don't know. And now you have to give up this beautiful house you built. I don't want that for anyone, right? So it's just balance. You keep on track with your other investments, you have enough reserves. You can totally afford once you have the full loan on this house, unless you're paying all cash, once it's refinanced and everything. Or, you never want to get to the point where you're halfway built and then have to tell your contractor you can't pay the remaining payments and you just have to give up this house to get it finished by someone else, right? So having a plan is a very good idea and having enough money for it too.
That is very nice to hear, considering I would think sometimes a financial planner who wants you to retire, buy all these mutual funds might be somewhat of a kill your dreams now type person so you could live later. But hearing things like that from you, actually, it is very encouraging, right? Use your money kind of when you have it. Um, don't go crazy, like be responsible. That's where you come in. Because if it was Nicholas, right, I'd just be spend
Oh
everything,
boy. Yeah,
right?
we won't go there. We won't go there today, but yeah. But
So
like but that's the thing, right? Like for you, I support your real estate dreams too, right? Like that's what part of this is about. Like I don't want to manage all of it in the stock market because that wouldn't light you up. I know all your dreams. You want to design stuff yourself, for investments, all of that. And I think it's just balance. I want you to have that side for yourself so that you can do all these things and you never have to worry about them being taken away. It's just balance. So same with my clients.
very awesome. Now, should we run through kind of a quick scenario of maybe, I don't know, Danny the dentist and Susan the surgeon?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Let's run through that. Let's go. I like the names, by the way.
I think it was Danny and did I just say Susan
Yeah,
or
Susan the
Sandy?
surgeon.
Susan.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, Danny and Susan, they need $750,000. They need that money to help them get toward their dream home. Part of it's going to the land, so let's say about 400,000 maybe to the land. And then the rest is more in kind of soft costs and fees, for design, for all these things that come before actually building the home. Um, Now, I don't know exactly how you would think about, it, but is there kind of maybe a percentage? They need 750,000. Is there a percentage more or a percentage of their total net worth maybe you're thinking of that you'd need to satisfy for you to feel good? I'm assuming if it's someone who has $900,000 liquid and they say to you, hey, Danny and Susan come up to you and say, well, I want to now take 750,000 of that and start my dream home. That's probably not, you probably wouldn't encourage them to do that or what? How does that work?
I don't know actually. And I know that you're surprised by that answer, but let's say they have 900 now, but I also know the surgeon and the dentist. How much do we think they make? I mean, a surgeon, I don't know, 600, sometimes they make a million. And then the dentist, maybe at least 300, maybe 400,000, I don't know. So even if one of them lost their job, they'd still be doing pretty well. Um, and with all that income, I'd be like, hey, we're not going to maybe spend as much as we've been spending in the past few years. We're going to put more in investments and build it up so that maybe by the time you're done with spending all that $750, $750,000, you might have another 500,000 plus the 150, right? So it really depends. And it depends on a client's risk tolerance, but they have huge income earning potential. Why would I want them to wait for their dream? As long as we have an agreement that we're going to balance it out with future income coming in. And I think that that's the thing. It's, if someone's like, I only have 750,000 or I only have $800,000 liquid and I'm only making $100,000 and I'm spending all of that, absolutely no, they should not be building a house. I mean, that's the situation where they could get in when they start building the home and they can't finish paying for the thing and have to foreclose all the things. So, it's a balance. But I do think having enough reserves is huge, having enough income to pay for it, knowing what it's going to cost you. The biggest thing too, I think with construction, as you and I know and we're aware of, like don't take the first number that they tell you as the number that it's going to cost. I normally safely pad it for my clients about 20%. And if it doesn't end up being that much, great. But we all have expensive tastes that we don't think we have. But, the interior designer or the builder starts giving you tile and you want the most expensive tile and then you want the most expensive sink. And I've been through this rodeo before. So it's just also, and the variables, right? Construction, does it ever happen and end on time? I don't know. Very rarely do I hear that. So like if you're having to rent a place, pad that for a few more months, right? So maybe even 6, maybe a year, it depends. I just think having a lot of buffers in there. And again, with my clients, what I tell them is it's always better if it ends out on the better side of things, comes up shorter, comes up with less money. But if it comes up with more money and we're not prepared, that's the worst. That's where the anxiety comes in. So it's just having the contingencies, knowing the variables. It's really pretty easy to put a plan together. I love it.
So kind of prepare for the best or prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially, so you said something too that's interesting. Obviously, adding maybe a little bit more than your original bid. I mean, we try at least at the beginning end, and we interviewed someone else too who has a budget calculator and then cost estimator. And that's kind of something that is an important feature throughout the project. And then yes, it still could add more. There's difficulties, especially in hillside properties, that are not exactly, they don't happen in other kind of on other builds. You know, if it's a flat lot, everyone knows what the soil is like. There's no massive boulders right under the surface. So there's things like that. So I think that obviously very, very smart about the planning part of things. And also you said something that's also seems very important, right? Income coming in. So I would imagine, so the income coming in is a big one, and then also how much time they have, right? So if they're 75, they're going to retire next year. You don't want to take a large portion of someone's kind of portfolio or a large portion of their cash and dump it in there when their income's going to get cut off in 2 or 3 years. But if they're in their 40s, they're successful, they're killing it, they're not stopping, then yes, maybe you could count on that income for a longer period of time. Yeah,
Again, though, like ultra high net worth individuals, I mean, if they have 20 million, it's going to cost 3 million to build their dream hillside home, and they only want to live off of 250, $300,000 a year, they're gonna be fine. They can build the $3 million house, right? So it, I know that people want this perfect equation and all of that, but financial planning is an art, and it entirely depends on your income, your needs, what assets you have. How much is this house going to cost? I mean, Hillside Homes, we know they're not the cheapest ones. They're the ones that everyone wants, right? They're the beautiful ones that are more complicated, have the great views normally. But, I don't know. I actually have some clients that are in their 70s that have an amazing custom built home. So if you're in your 70s too, I don't want to put it past you, but don't wait till your 70s to have the home either. I'm a big believer in that. Get it now if you can.
absolutely. Actually, you know what? Let's just segue into, because you just reminded me of this book you told me to read. What about what was the name of the book again you recommended? Super good.
Die with
Die
zero.
with yeah, Die with
Yeah.
Zero.
Yes.
So I've explained that concept to some people. Some people are like, no, you're crazy. But I think somebody like you talking about a book like that, I think it makes a ton of sense. Why spend all your money later when you have less time to enjoy it? Spend throughout, obviously be safe, don't spend like a crazy. But yeah, why build a custom home? You're already in your 70s, not to say there's not much life left then. But if you were able to afford it in your 40s, well, then you could,
Enjoy.
maybe your kids could have grown up there. You could have created all these great memories that otherwise they never would have had. And then did it really cripple you financially? I don't know. So yeah, how about a book recommendation? So Die with Zero would be one, right? Give me another one. Give me another
I
good
mean,
five.
Die with Zero definitely. And I want to say one thing. Die with Zero is not meant for the person that needs Dave Ramsey. Okay. You need Dave Ramsey if you have credit card debt up to your ears, like that's okay. But Die with Zero is that person that's just worried about spending their money. They're wanting to leave a legacy. Like it even changed my plan. I don't know what it did for you, but like how I'm going to gift to my kids. I'm totally gifting to my kids throughout their life instead of waiting for them to inherit, right? Like I want to see them enjoy it. So, yeah, what other books would I mean, if you're a business owner, I mean, 10x is easier than 2x is definitely one of my favorites. Who Not How, we're reading that right now. Um, and those are what
Yes.
comes to my mind right now.
Nice. Very cool.
Oh, and Psychology of Money. Sorry. Like that, everyone needs to read that.
Okay. Thank you so much. I love this. I'm so happy you agreed to come on here. I want to spread kind of your gospel, but also I want to make the point that building a hillside home, yes, it's going to be expensive. It is attainable, and I want to put the people in kind of the right place so that they could get there. And I think having someone like you is perfect for someone who wants to build a hillside home.
Well, and I want to end with that really quick. I have seen my clients, once you know a number, once you know what you need, once you want something bad enough, I have seen my clients achieve the craziest things. But it's when it's just this thing you just talk about. But if you have the plan, you know you're gonna need $750,000 of cash. Just watch how much faster you can attain that if you know exactly what you need and when.
Boom.
Yeah, I
Townsend
know. Boom.
Financial.
Can we like mic drop? Let's just end it there.